Hi, my name is Samantha Casas, and this is my personal ministry profile. Um, I didn't grow up in a Christian home, and in 2008, I was living a not so good life. And in 2008, I wanted to change and knew something needed to happen. So a Christian family took me in and said that I could stay with them while I was getting on my feet. And but the only stipulation was is that I had to go to church. And so I obeyed and did that. And during that time, I had gotten pregnant with my first child, and some things happened there. And so in 2009, February of 2009, I was at a revival, and I it was at the end, and the evangelist said, "Can you raise your hand if you have never accepted Christ and you're ready to accept Christ as your Savior?" And next thing I know, and he's calling me up front, and I look up and my hand is raised. I didn't even know, I couldn't even feel it, and I didn't know it was raised. And I had accepted Christ as my Savior. And in March, I was baptized. And then July, I had my my first son. And then in 2010, my husband deployed, and I was in the learning phase, trying to just figure out what the Bible meant during that time. 2011, my husband came home from deployment. We had in June, we had gotten married, and then in December, we had our first daughter. And then in 2012, was when we really started getting involved in church. And we started getting involved in Sunday school more, and I started helping out with a children's ministry called Awana, and I started with having mentors. When it comes to boundary events, I had Crisis as I was living a very sinful life and needed Jesus, but I had a divine guidance experience as God put the right people in my life to get me to this point, and showed me what I needed most in my life. The next phase, phase two, general ministry, I call this the preparing phase for me. As in 2013, we went through a transition of getting out of the military. We went through many trials, which involved having a miscarriage and loss of job and all at once. And then we moved to Ohio, and we had many face challenges during that time. In 2014, while we were in Ohio, we started helping out with the cleaning crew at church. I was able to help out with the children's ministry with Awana. I led women's Bible studies. We helped out in small groups. So we were really in that ministry task phase where we were tasked to do many things. And then I also had a very difficult pregnancy with our third child, and it really tested my faith during that time. So then we had some more ministry task and faith challenges. As 2015 to 2018, we moved to San Antonio, and that's where we got even more involved in children's ministry. We taught college Sunday school class. We taught a marriage journey Sunday school class. We had another difficult pregnancy with our fourth child, and then we had to move to my husband lost his job, and we had to move to Temple, Texas. And then I had a major surgery and had complications from that. And that really showed me during that time who God was, and I really learned God was shaping me and my faith and who I needed to be during that time. 2019, we moved to West Virginia. We became youth pastors and were involved in several different ministries during that time. Boundary events would have been crisis, face challenges, as God allowed many things to happen to make me stronger and to rely on Him. A new ministry. God moved us all around, all over, to show us how to do different roles in ministry to prepare us for the next phase that He has us in. Phase 3, focus ministry. I call this a new season during this time, as God had called me to quit my job so I could homeschool all 4 of our children. He gave us a vision of love God, love people, and to live that out with the commandments of love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and then love your neighbor as yourself. We were contacted about a church in Nevada who about coming to see if we were interested to pastor this church. And then we started a meal ministry, and then we had some ministry conflict with the church that we were at. And during that time, we, as a family, I had to make the decision to put off my capstone project for my master's in psychology, and decided that coming to ORU was the best choice. And then in January, we went to Spring Creek, Nevada, to visit the church, and then they offered us a position, as now we are in transition of going to be lead pastors of this church. The boundary events would be a new ministry, God calling us to Nevada to be lead pastors, as He's been preparing us for this for many years. Geographical move, God moving us to Nevada, which is a huge move for us, not just financially, but we're moving from pretty much one end of the country to the other. And then the phase 4 is the convergent ministry, ongoing ministry. And this is where I experienced my healing back in August. And since then, the Spirit has taken over. I can feel the Spirit within me when I'm praying, and when I'm praying for others, and when it takes over. And then also just the change that is going on. We're in a new role transition of going from youth pastors to lead pastors, and this sharing our vision with everyone we encounter of love God and love people.